They slam doors for no reason. They cry over a text message. They scream at you. Then 5 minutes later, ask what's for dinner. And you think, what is wrong with this kid? Nothing. Their brain is just under construction. And the most dangerous part isn't even built yet. Here's what's really happening inside a teenager's skull. There are two systems fighting for control. The first, the amygdala. Think of it as the brain's fire alarm. It detects threats. It triggers fear, anger, excitement. It reacts fast. No thinking required. The second, the prefrontal cortex. This is the brain's CEO. It plans. It reasons. It says, maybe don't send that text at 2 a.m. Here's the problem. In adults, the CEO is fully operational. It receives the alarm, evaluates it, and decides, false alarm, stand down. In teenagers, the CEO is still being hired. The prefrontal cortex doesn't fully mature until age 25. So a teenager's brain is running a billion-dollar emotional empire with an intern at the front desk. But the construction site gets worse because there's a second force making everything more intense. In 2004, researchers at the National Institute of Mental Health used brain imaging to study adolescent reward systems. What they found changed everything we know about teenage behavior. Teenagers don't just feel emotions differently, they feel emotions more. The adolescent brain produces significantly higher spikes of dopamine than an adult brain, especially in response to social rewards. A like on social media, a glance from a crush, a laugh from a friend. Each one hits a teenager's brain like a slot machine jackpot. But here's the paradox. While the highs are higher, the lows are lower. When that dopamine drops, when the text goes unanswered, when the friend group shifts, when a grade comes back wrong, the teenage brain doesn't just feel disappointed, it feels like the world is ending. Not because they're dramatic, because neurochemically, to their brain, it is that intense. Adults have a regulatory buffer, a neurological shock absorber. Teenagers are riding raw voltage with no surge protector. So teenagers have an overactive alarm system, amplified emotions, and no filter. But there's one more thing happening, and this is the one nobody talks about. Between ages 12 and 25, the brain undergoes a process called synaptic pruning. Think of it as a massive renovation. Your brain is born with roughly 100 trillion synaptic connections. But during adolescence, the brain starts cutting, aggressively. Use it or lose it. Neural pathways that get used get stronger. Pathways that don't get eliminated. This is why the teenage years are so critical. The brain is deciding, what kind of person are you going to be? If a teenager practices music, those circuits get reinforced. If they practice anxiety, those circuits get reinforced too. The brain doesn't judge. It just builds whatever you repeat. And during this renovation, the emotional wiring is exposed. Raw, vulnerable. It's like rewiring a house while someone is still living in it. The lights flicker, the circuits overload, and sometimes everything goes dark for a moment. That's not a malfunction. That's construction. So the next time a teenager explodes over something small, remember this. Their alarm system is on high alert. Their emotional amplifier is turned to maximum, and their brain is literally rebuilding itself in real time. They're not broken. They're not weak. They're not doing it on purpose. They are a cathedral, mid-construction, messy, loud, chaotic. But one day, when the scaffolding comes down, you'll see exactly what all that chaos was building. Same brain, different stage. Don't judge the construction by the scaffolding. If this changed how you see the teenage brain, share this with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe, because every week, we decode the neuroscience behind the behaviors nobody else explains.